Penguins stand on Antarctic ice barefoot. Their feet should freeze. Here's why they don't. An emperor penguin stands on ice colder than your freezer for months at a time. No boots, no shoes, just bare skin pressed against -40 degrees. By every rule of physics, those feet should be frozen blocks within hours. They aren't. The trick isn't insulation. It's plumbing. And the same trick keeps tuna warm in cold oceans and whales warm in the Arctic. Start with the heat loss problem. An emperor penguin's body core sits at about 38 degrees Celsius, slightly warmer than a human's. The Antarctic ice it stands on can hit -60. That is a temperature difference of nearly 100 degrees, pressed directly into the soles of its feet. Heat always flows from hot to cold. Physics is not optional. So warm blood arriving in the feet should dump heat straight into the ice through the foot's blood vessels, lose energy continuously, and return to the body cold. Worse, the foot itself would freeze solid in minutes if it stayed body warm. The surface heat would keep melting the ice underneath. The melt would refreeze around the foot, and the bird would be glued in place. For a bird that has to walk, swim, and incubate eggs through a polar winter, neither option works. Solid frozen feet means amputation. Body-warm feet means a frozen base. The emperor penguin solves this with a system so clever that engineers copied it for heat exchangers in spacecraft and submarines. Here is the trick. In a penguin's leg, the artery carrying warm blood down to the foot doesn't run alone. It runs braided together with the veins carrying cold blood back up. Arteries and veins are bundled side by side, walls almost touching, woven into a structure called a rete mirabile, Latin for wonderful net. As warm arterial blood flows down, it loses heat to the cold venous blood flowing up right next to it. The vein steals the warmth and carries it back into the body before it can reach the foot. By the time arterial blood arrives at the toes, it is almost as cold as the surrounding venous blood, just a few degrees above freezing. The foot stays cold. The body stays warm. Almost no heat escapes to the ice. This is countercurrent heat exchange, and the geometry is what makes it work. If the artery and vein ran in the same direction, the warm blood would always be warmer than the venous blood next to it. An exchange would be incomplete. Running in opposite directions, every point along the bundle has a small temperature difference, and over the length of the leg, those small exchanges add up to nearly perfect heat recycling. But near-freezing tissue should die. Cells need oxygen. Oxygen needs blood flow, and blood flow at near-freezing temperatures should slow to a crawl. So how does the foot stay alive? Two more tricks. First, penguin foot tissue is biochemically tuned for cold. The fats in the cell membrane stay flexible at low temperatures, and the enzymes that drive metabolism keep working in a temperature range where mammalian enzymes would shut down. Second, the bird actively controls blood flow. When the foot needs more warmth, during a storm, or when the bird is moving, small muscles in the artery walls relax, opening shunt vessels that bypass the heat exchanger and let warmer blood through. When standing still on ice, those shunts close, and the countercurrent system runs at maximum efficiency. Thermal imaging of penguins on ice confirms it. The body glows bright. Feathers trap heat near body temperature. The feet appear nearly invisible to infrared cameras, almost the same temperature as the ice itself. Cold, functional, alive. And every Arctic mammal, every cold-water fish, every wading bird uses some version of the same trick. Evolution found countercurrent exchange independently, over and over, because the physics leaves no other answer. That's how penguins stand barefoot on ice without losing heat. Subscribe to Curious Science for more biological engineering. Tomorrow, why mammals only get 2 sets of teeth and the single evolutionary compromise that locked it in.